Who is the best main monster in Poppy Playtime? So by main monster, I mean the main monsters in Poppy Playtime Chapter 1, Chapter 2, and Chapter 3. Sorry, Project Playtime, you're not included in this. So that means the three monsters that we'll be comparing today are Huggy Wuggy, Mommy Longlegs, and Catnap. So what we're gonna do is go through a bunch of questions, and then hopefully at the end of this video, we can make a decision on who is the best main monster in Poppy Playtime history. Starting off with our first question, who is the tallest? Huggy Wuggy is estimated to be 18 feet tall. Mommy Longlegs has an unspecified height, but is said to be around 20 feet tall, so we're just gonna say she's 20 feet tall. I'm sure if she just stretches those really long legs of hers, she will come out to be that tall. And Catnap is estimated to be 16 feet tall, which means that Mommy Longlegs is our tallest main monster. Who is the fastest? Huggy Wuggy can run up to 19 miles per hour. And we are not told how fast Mommy Longlegs and Catnap are, but my guess is that Mommy Longlegs is really slow and Catnap is really fast, and here's my reasoning. So obviously in this part in Chapter 2, when we had to open the door and Mommy Longlegs spawns right behind us, she looks really slow back there. I'm not gonna lie. She looks like she's moving like a sloth. Like, you really can't move any faster than that, Mommy? And for Catnap, my reasoning of him being really fast is this cutscene with Bunzo Bunny, where he just basically swoops in, takes him, and yeah, we don't know where he went with Bunzo Bunny, but that was really fast. As we can see from this angle here, Catnap, he's really fast. Like, he moves so fast, you can barely even see him on screen. So therefore, I think Catnap is definitely the fastest out of all of them. Who is the scariest? To be honest, I think this one is pretty easy to rank and that everyone will agree with this. If we just take a look at some Huggy Wuggy pictures, some Mommy Longleg pictures. That is not Mommy Longleg, what is that? And then some pictures of Catnap, I think we can all agree on who the scariest one is. I mean, honestly, if you just ask the people on TikTok, they'll answer the question for you. I think it's very fair to say that Catnap is obviously the most scary out of all of them. Who was the hardest? So in this case, we're talking about Huggy Wuggy's chase scene, Mommy Longlegs' chase scene, and Catnap's boss fight. First, let's talk about Huggy Wuggy's chase scene. Honestly, there's nothing really complicated that you have to do here. Just a lot of turning and twisting your body, trying to find the right direction to go. So this one is honestly not too hard. It might take you a couple tries to do, but once you figure out the path, you'll be okay. Mommy Longlegs chase scene, there's actually a lot more that you have to do besides just twisting and turning and finding the right directions to go. Unlike Huggy Wuggy's, you actually have to look up and down and like pull yourself up and also pull yourself across things so you don't fall down into the pits. And it's honestly a very intense chase scene. And for Catnap's boss fight, it's almost like a FNAF kind of thing. You're placing batteries in different spots, and also using the green hand to move the energy from place to place in order to keep away Catnap from killing you. There's a certain time limit telling you how long that you have to survive, and in my opinion, this is a really hard boss fight, especially if you've never played FNAF before. So for this part, I think it's easy to say that Catnap is the hardest, Mommy Longlegs coming in second, and Huggy Wuggy in last. Which actually leads to my next question. Who has the scariest chase scene or boss fight? Now this one's actually really hard to rank because all three of them had really scary chase scenes or boss fights. Huggy Wuggy with the vent chase, Mommy Longleg with also a very intense and scary chase scene, and finally Catnap with his boss battle. And for the winner of the scariest chase scene slash boss fight, I'm giving it to Huggy Wuggy. I'm giving it to Huggy Wuggy because at the start, first of all, he just appears out of nowhere. Then for him to be chasing you in a vent like that where it's very compact and squished, that is just very scary and also will get your heart pumping. In a way, I think this was also a lot scarier than the other ones because it's the first time we've ever done anything with Poppy Playtime. This chase scene with Huggy Wuggy was our first experience with what Poppy Playtime was about, so I think that just made it scarier. Giving second place to Mommy Longlegs because her chase scene is also very scary and is also something that will get your heart pumping. And it's also the fact that she just gets super close to you when you're going up right here. Like, she's literally right there. Literally like inches behind you. And then of course, while you're opening the door right here, she just comes out of nowhere and starts running towards you, and you just have to wait for that door to open. This part just makes you very nervous right here. And I'm giving last place to Catnap. I know some of you guys might be surprised that I gave Catnap the last place for this spot, but it's just his boss fight right here where we're placing batteries and doing all this stuff. It's not as intense as Huggy Wuggy and Mommy Longlegs part because they're not chase scenes. Catnap's part is more of like a cool, common collective part, while Huggy Wuggy and Mommy Longlegs chase scenes are just very intense, and you just gotta think very fast when you do those things. But for Catnap, I would say his is still intense, but just not as intense as the other two. Who had the worst death? So we got Huggy Wuggy, who fell down the factory right here. That was a pretty painful death. Mommy Longlegs, who got grinded up like an absolute piece of meat. Yup, that's right, we turned her up into a McDonald's burger the way she was getting grinded up in that thing. And then we got Catnap, who got absolutely folded like an omelet. Claws right through his face. Right through his mouth. No mercy being shown from the prototype here. Oh, and he also did get burned up before that, and yeah, he looked like he was suffering. But the question that we're trying to find out here is who had the most wondrous, dreamy, painful, amazing death? Which one of them was it? Well, with the 3 deaths we saw with Huggy Wuggy falling down the factory, Mommy Longlegs getting grinded up, and Catnap getting electrocuted, burned, and claws right through his mouth. But even though I'm saying all this about Catnap, I have to give the most painful, worst death to Mommy Longlegs. I mean, she literally got grinded up. You know how painful that is to get grinded up in that thing right there? Are you guys seeing that? I mean, personally, if I had to choose how to die, this would be my last option. As you can see, she is in so much pain right now. Giving second place to Catnap because he literally got electrocuted, burned, and then got killed by getting claws right through his mouth, like I said earlier. That sounds pretty painful too, but not as painful as Mommy Longlegs' death. And then Huggy Wuggy falling down the factory. You know, that one's not too painful. That one's not too bad. I mean, I could survive that one. I can't believe I'm talking about something falling down a full building and saying that that is not that bad of a death. Like, that one is still really bad. So overall, I think they all had pretty gruesome, terrible deaths, but I have to give the worst one to Mommy Longlegs. And last but not least, who is the best overall? This is just completely my opinion, so basically this is my fan favorite voting. Obviously, you guys will probably have a different ranking than me, so let me know how you would rank these 3 in the comments below. But purely by my opinion, and by who I like the most, I'm giving the best overall to Catnap, second place to Huggy Wuggy, and third to Mommy Longlegs. Am I gonna get a lot of hate for ranking it that way? I don't know. Looks like I'll find out.